Greetings. Today is another strange day in the courtroom here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, Georgia, in the KJ family paying possibly the attorney fees for dealing with the death of their son. To skip right along, I don't want to go into too much of what you already know, but today the court proceedings dealing with Judge Richard Porter, in my most humble opinion, took a turn for the worse.
On a wrongful death lawsuit, and then combine it with Kendrick's lengthy and extensive federal investigation, there were things that had to be done.
Greetings. State your name, please.
Bobby Worthy.
What organization?
I'm Bobby Worthy. I'm National President for the Justice League United. I'm the Minister of Law and Justice for the New Black Panther Party, and I'm also a national board member for the National Black Man's Movement, chaired by Attorney Malik Zulu Shabazz.
You also came from Waycross, Georgia, right?
Yes, I did.
What interest do you have in the Kendrick Johnson case and this lawsuit that been, finalizing the allegations against the family?
Well, the thing is, I have interest against injustice. The Johnson family got to be the strongest family in this country. They will not stop and not charging for justice for their son that they know and all of them know was murdered. Now, what I witnessed in this courtroom today...
Yeah, that was my main question. Yes, sir.
What I witnessed in this courtroom was, first of all, a judge inattentive. Now, I'm going to be honest. I think the judge was fair. I think he was admirable. But the judge was inattentive when he went to sleep not once, not twice, but 3 times and one time at the end.
Is that why you tried to get my attention? I didn't have a camera because of the situation, well, I'll explain later. Mm-hmm. But you tried to get my attention to let me know that he was sleeping?
Yes, I did. And I also notified all the other news teams that were here. Did you see, and all of them say, yes, we saw it. Did you see the judge that he was asleep on the bench? They say, yes, we did. Whether they're going to air that or not, but we know the ghetto free press going to air it.
My question to you is, do you think that was that done deliberately, so this afternoon it would not be a recording, a complete recording? We know we got a transcript, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Well, my thing is the judge limited my opinion, I think the judge messed up when he limited, because he does have discretion in the law to allow recordings. But once he allow one and don't allow the other, then he violates the freedom of the press. He violates the open meeting law. The judge When I walked back in there, first thing he noticed was no media in there, and he said, well, we ain't gonna have no media in there. That's the first thing come out of his mouth.
Are you serious?
He said, well, no media came back, and he said, I told them that I would let one other come in if nobody will show up, another one come in. Nobody's here. Y'all would agree with no media? And that's what he said. That's when I came outside looking for you.
Go ahead.
I sent the media blast out to everybody when I found out about this. All the news media, CNN, everybody, every local news station that I know, radio, Valdosta Daily Times, all of them, but Valdosta Daily Times was too. But how can you, this is what I understand about the media. How can you come in here and view the beginning of the trial and not get the end? So you're going to go report an incomplete story, and probably not going to be report half of it anyway. And just like I told her, I asked every media, ABC from Atlanta, I asked Channel 10 was here, and I even told you, Jordan, to get on Free Press. I said, did you see the judge sleep? Did you get it on that camera? She said, yes, I did. Whether she going to report that or not, that is very important. Very important. You cannot make a decision as a judge and you up there asleep.
Let me ask you a question. Just in case somebody else in the state of Georgia would like to call you for you to give more information about what you saw in this courtroom.
To reach me, call me at 912-424-0752. Again, that's 912-424-0752. Or hit my email, justiceleagueunited@yahoo.com. One word, justiceleagueunited@yahoo.com.
Thank you very much. What's your name?
My name is Reverend Larry D. O'Hara.
What's your position or what title you carry?
I'm the, well, I carry many titles, but as far as the NAACP, I'm the assistant president of the Waycross branch.
Are you a minister of the gospel?
Yes, I am.
All right, what do you think about what happened today?
Even the judge sitting up there asleep from time to time.
You saw him sleep too?
Yes, and when he wake up, then somebody holler an objection, and he don't know what the objection is. So then he turns around and asks, after the guy called the objection, you speak his piece, then he turn around and asks Mr. King, and Mr. King just blurt it out. He just go ahead on and beat every avenue that they came across today, they got whooped.
Why do you think that there was no camera in the courtroom?
And the reason why they didn't want y'all in there with the camera, because every time they make a mistake, it's recorded on film, and they don't want to have to go back and use that. That is the same reason why, in the KJ case, why those films was tampered with, per se, because the evidence was already there. And they learned now that if it's on film, then they can use that film against them.
What's your name?
My name is Reverend Jeffrey Benoit. I'm the president of the Clayton Henry chapter of the National Action Network and a candidate for the 2016 State Representative, District 76, which covers the Connolly, Fairview, Stockbridge, Forest Park, Rex and Morrow in Rex, Georgia.
Because you call the National Action Network. Who's the founder of that organization?
The founder is Reverend Al Sharpton, who founded the National Action Network in 1991, so this is our 25th year.
First, I want to ask Bobby, what did you say that you saw the judge doing in the courtroom today?
Sleeping.
What did you say you saw him doing?
Sleeping.
Did you see him?
Oh, he was not. He was not, and at least 3 times that counted.
I heard several other people, and I want to be on camera, that you all saw that. Now, how?
The judge has proven that, that he really don't want the cameras in the court. I mean, and I understand why, because the last trial he went to sleep 4 or 5 times, and this time he went to sleep 4 times, nodded on the bench, was sleeping. So, I mean, no one is saying about it. Even when the media was there the last time, you was the only one who reported that the judge was asleep. He actually went to sleep, and nobody seems to see that's not a problem.
Well, being a problem or not, it seems to me, because if I had reported, I would let the people know what happened and took place in the courtroom. But it seemed that the local news media are not concerned about judges sleeping in the courtroom, or for that matter, even what's going on here today. Because, I mean, we had other things in the city that was going on, but this is a very high-profile local, state, and national case. And yet, when it comes down to our television station, regardless of whatever happened in Valdosta, they wasn't here.
Well,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, it's all support. To me, it's all supported by white supremacy. It's getting to the point that whites seem to think that everything runs around them. And it's getting worse with the police brutality. We're technically moving to a dictatorship.
Go to the graduation to little Terry because I have been banned from the school by a warrant that I knew absolutely nothing about. Thank God I didn't go to this graduation because I would have been arrested according to this deputy right here.
And so I have said to you, on the property or near the property of Valdosta State University, that any student coming to Valdosta State University could be picked up by Lowndes County Sheriff deputies and told that they are under a criminal trespass, although they have violated no law. They can remain under this criminal trespass for 18 months without any action being taken to remove them. And so, now I want you to see if I have been telling you the truth about any person could be banned and told by the sheriff department, you cannot go to City Hall, you cannot go on Moody Air Force Base, you cannot go to a restaurant, you cannot go to any established facilities that they want to and tell you you are under a criminal trespass without justification or notification, and you don't have to violate any law in Lowndes County. Now look, I may be lying to you. George Boston Rhines may be lying to you. And so what must I say to you? What must I present to the governmental agencies in the United States for you to see if I am lying or not? What can I give you? What can I say to you to convince you that the Lowndes County Sheriff Department stopped me, banned me, and told me by Sheriff Deputy Thomas that if I go on any area of Lowndes County High School, I would be arrested? How can I prove that to you? Can I prove that to you? After 18 months, and the government agency here in Lowndes County and the state of Georgia will not remove me in writing from an unjustified criminal trespass? And how many more of our young children are in jail, in prison, or on death row because of lies against the American people? Now look, again, closing. What can I give you to convince you that Lowndes County Sheriff Deputy Thomas placed me under this criminal trespass? I wrote the Sheriff Department and asked them for any tapes, any letters, or complaints against me. And they said they had nothing on me, but they will not put in writing that they have removed me from what you are about to hear. If they did this to me, and they did, they also can do this to you, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and coming generations. Unless somebody is willing to stand up for what is right.
Sir, I need you got a card? Yeah. Okay, what's your name? Stephanie Thomas? Deputy Thomas. Yeah. Okay, my attorney request from you a copy of that warrant. My attorney, C.B. King. I just called my attorney. And I know you ain't got that.
You talking to the wrong person.
I understand, but I'm doing what he asked me to do.
But you do not, first of all, you do not have a warrant. Not a warrant.
Okay, well,
with a warrant, you would have been arrested.
Right, okay.
It's criminal
trespass. Warning, a criminal trespass warning.
You come on this premises.
Right, I got you. Yeah, right.
But I cannot give you a copy of that. You talk to the sheriff about that or next person in charge.
Okay, so can you radio him now? Because it's very serious. I mean, I got
directing traffic.
Okay, well, I just want to
direct traffic. Somebody can get seriously hurt.
I appreciate you, man.
Look, if they did this to me, and they did, they also can do this to you, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and coming generations. Unless somebody is willing to stand up for what is right.
What do you think, who do you think has the power to break this system? And what do you think needs to be done? Like, who needs to be uniting together, you know?
Thank you very much. You are really nice and you are powerful. That is a powerful question. What could bring about that change is, as I said, if the football games were interrupted.
Greetings. Today is another strange day in the courtroom here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, Georgia, in the KJ family paying possibly the attorney fees for dealing with the death of their son. To skip right along, I don't want to go into too much of what you already know, but today the court proceedings dealing with Judge Richard Porter, in my most humble opinion, took a turn for the worse. And I'm sorry that I should have to say this. I don't like saying this, but I'm going to say it. Shaveen King at one point paused, mentioned to the judge that he had a possible ailment starting Sunday, but he came to court anyway. And he mentioned to the judge that his wife is a physician and that whatever his problems are, I'm not even going to put it on here because I don't want to. But whatever condition he had, I guess his wife, they was trying to resolve it by taking medicine or pills. But he had a scheduled appointment for tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I think it was, and the judge pretty near told him that you could have told me about this earlier in the week. I had just heard Shaveen King state that he didn't know about whether he was going to do this or not. He stated it twice, but the judge came back and said it again. You should have told me earlier. Well, he went further to say, the judge said, I am willing to stay late this evening, and will you complete Attorney Edwards' questioning? Shaveen King, in the final analysis, said, I'll do all I can, but if you know Shaveen, he don't get in a hurry because he want to represent his clients. And so, Shaveen King, once again, I think that he was very distraught. It hurt my heart to know that King was serious about whatever his conditions are. The judge even made a statement that he too have this same type of problem. But he said, but you should have taken care of it or let me know about it earlier. So the short form was, before we went to lunch, the judge was saying that he was not going to make any arrangements. And I watched Shaveen King stand in the courtroom, and he paused there. He didn't get rude with the judge, but it got pretty pointed. And so I didn't agree with ignoring a person with a medical condition like that, but be that as it may. Be that as it may. Bottom line is that I wish that more people from the city of Valdosta, I wish that the news media could have been here. The mainstream news media had been here. We was here Monday, Tuesday, and today is Wednesday. And it seemed as if though this segment or part of the KJ case is unimportant. It's like people in Valdosta do not want to know what is going on in these acquiring these attorney fees and whether the family should pay them or not. But be that as it may, I want to thank God for Kendrick Johnson's parents and those surrounding him that are willing to come and sit in the courtroom, because it often looked like it's just about their son. But there are over 3,000 children attending Lowndes County High School, and this could happen to anybody. Now, if nothing comes out of all of this, I know that the family and the good citizens of Valdosta, the state of Georgia, and America can at least say, thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you, Grandma English, Grandfather Eddie, for standing up. Because if you had not stood up, they wouldn't have known about a botched investigation, a botched crime scene, a botched system of acquiring records through the Open Records Act that was blocked. They wouldn't know how hard it is to go out and do an investigation. I walk with the investigators for the KJ family. I walk the streets here in Valdosta. And as a result, I am under a 3-year, 4 months criminal trespass for not violating the law. And so I too have learned something. I've learned how God will put you in the mix to ensure that you do not leave before or after 6. So I'm still in the mix. And regardless of what people say, I am determined to have some government agency or some law enforcement agency to remove me in writing from this illegal, unjustified, disgraceful criminal trespass here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and in the United States of America. I violated no law. I went to the sheriff's department. I talked to Sheriff Pride. I'm not going to tell you what he say because it's already on video. I went to the CID, the Criminal Investigative Department. They had nothing on me. The sheriff eventually, after I requested in writing, he don't have nothing on me. I wrote a letter to the school superintendent of West Taylor. They don't have anything on me, but yet they got me under criminal trespass, and I have the audio. I have several audio tapes, different ones. I even took audio statements from witnesses that witnessed them put me under it. But now they say they have nothing at all on me. So the question is, how in the state of Georgia can a human being be stopped and banned from public property and they violated no law? I told you all, you're losing your rights. You're losing them. But some of you don't seem to care. And some of you, thank God, gonna work it out and you don't have to do nothing for yourself. Let me close out. When we came back after lunch, Judge Richard Porter said to Shavine King, I have reconsidered, and I will not have court tomorrow. That was right after lunch. And I said to myself, I'm glad you redeemed yourself. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I was going to be pretty hard on this video, but I cut a little slack now, because this is what he should have done in the first place. Now, I'm not a judge, and it's amazing how these white lawyers seem to have superiority. They seem like they all are friends. They seem like they're in a clique and among the slicks. Now, I know I shouldn't say that. I don't feel comfortable in saying that. But they feel comfortable in showing that in the courtroom. Everybody is looking at these attorneys, looking at their friendship or relationship with the judge. Only God knows how this thing could turn out if there was a jury trial. and the jury see this like brothers from the same lodge or brothers from the same church. It just don't look good in the eyes of the public. I've had people to come and tell me about it, but I'm telling you about it because you have a right to know. Now let me close. As I said, I went to the sheriff's department, I went to the criminal investigative department, I went to the probate judge, I went to Superior Court, District Attorney David Miller's office. I left there. Then I went to the federal courts, and they ran my name. They said, there's nothing on you. And at each level of law enforcement and government, you know what they said to me? How could they do that? Then, when I went to the Justice Department in Atlanta, and when I told them what Reverend Robinson said, that superintendent told him, and we got it recorded, we got it recorded, we got him recorded. We got it recorded, and it's already on YouTube, because we want you to know the truth, because you cannot become free until truth comes. And so what we did, I talked to somebody, Justice Department in Atlanta, and when they said they were working something on me, and that they found something in my record, and I told them there ain't a damn thing in my record but what they want to put in my record. Ain't no drugs in my car, but those that they may plant on me in the future. So I want y'all to get ready for that. So if something happened, you'll be ready to do what must be done to show the wickedness, of this democratic system here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and in the United States of America. But don't threaten and don't worry about what's happening, because in the end, truth, right, and justice will win. One more. I even went to the Department of Justice with this. Eric Holder of the Department of Justice. I have also gone to other areas. I'm getting ready to write the United Nations, because here I am. I violated no law, but I served this country for 21 years. So now, I'll leave you by saying this. Where's the news media? Why is it that when problems and situations arise in the black community, there's no news media? Why, wait a minute, I heard that. I heard you thinking. You thinking that I'm just acting. Well, I challenge you, without me going into detail, because I've already over-documented it. Lula Smart in Brooks County, one of the Quitman 10+2, had a 19-day court case dealing with voter rights and violating voting laws, which all 119 to 200 violations was dropped by the state of Georgia. Dropped. No news media was in the courtroom, not one day. No ABC, no CBS, no WALB. And then when the verdict came down from the jury, people was rejoicing outside of the courtroom, and they called the TV stations. Listen, they called the TV stations, and they did not come. I'm telling y'all, you can criticize me, but somebody got to do what the founding fathers of this republic said we should do. If they did this to me, and they did, they also can do this to you, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and coming generations.
But the judge was inattentive when he went to sleep not once, not twice, but 3 times and 1 time at the end. And I also notified all the other news teams that were him. Did you see, and all of them say, yes, we saw it. Did you see the judge that he was sleep on the bench? They say, yes, we did. Whether they're going to air that or not, but we know the ghetto free press going to air it. Johnson family got to be the strongest family in this country.
If they did this to me, and they did, they also can do this to you, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and coming generations. So now, I'll leave you by saying this. Where's the news media? Why is it that when problems and situations arise in the black community, there's no news media? Why, wait a minute, I heard that. I heard you thinking. You thinking that I'm just acting. Well, I challenge you, without me going into detail, because I've already over-documented it. Lula Smart in Brooks County, one of the Quitman 10+2 had a 19-day court case dealing with voter rights and violating voting laws, which all 119 to 200 violations was dropped by the state of Georgia. Dropped. No news media was in the courtroom, not one day. No ABC, no CBS, no WALB. And then when the verdict came down from the jury, people was rejoicing outside of the courtroom, and they called the TV stations. Listen, they called the TV stations, and they did not come. I'm telling y'all, you can criticize me, but somebody got to do what the founding fathers of this republic said we should do. And that is, well, I'm gonna let Bobby Worthy tell you that, because he'll tell you more better than I am. Look, he gonna tell you about a government when it no longer works on your behalf.
Bobby Worthy, this is the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You was here all 3 days. What happened in the courtroom, and how you think? What you think about the case? They stopped. They said it may not go back to November. So fill the people in, because it don't seem like the news media have done a very good job in covering this, from my point of view.
Okay. Well, as you said, we've been in court quite a while, since Monday, as the court started. I wasn't in the court today very long. I had another appointment. I came late, but I just got informed what happened today from George's interview. To me, I think I'm really thinking the judge is really thinking about these absurd attorney fees, well out of bounds. We do know, and I'm not going to say because it hadn't been brought out in court yet, we do know one of the agencies have paid some of the money, one of the local agency, government agency. I have that in writing, and I have presented it to the attorney that they paid some money out in debt, but not all completely. But like I said, they're not going to get the attorney fees out. They
don't bet on it. Don't bet on it.
Well, don't bet on it. Well, I mean, I'm assuming from what the judge say, if he's a man of his word.
I've seen him say one thing and do another, but go ahead with your story. Sorry if I interrupted, but the truth is the truth.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, they can say one thing and do another. But it does seem like, to me, that there is some kind of favoritism. And I like to say it like this: favoritism or racism. You be the judge. Favoritism because maybe the judge knows all these attorneys. He allowed, since I've been involved in this trial, I have noticed that the judge has allowed these 8 white attorneys to run the courtroom. I mean, actually run it. I see them swear themselves in on the stand.
Have you ever seen that done before?
I never in my life seen a witness swear himself in. They said because he's an officer of the court. That's bull, John. That's bull. I'm here to tell you that. Because the law is clear on this, and they say any witness, before they can give testimony in the court of law, they must be sworn in. They give testimony. But I've never seen that before. A witness with an attitude at that swear itself in. And I'm gonna say it. Jim Elliott, the Lowndes County Sheriff Department's attorney, has been very rude, obnoxious, and just disrespectful to Attorney King. And without pause, without hesitation, Attorney King, being the man he is, read on in testimony, submitted his evidence, and went round even with the judge, didn't agree with it. But it does seem like the judge is catering to all the other needs, allowing these attorneys to say, do what they want from the witness stand, act like they want in the courthouse, just whenever they want to. I've seen attorneys in this courtroom object to things that Attorney King was saying. Attorney King went right on. The judge sit there and don't say nothing. You can't rule on the objection. It has to be the judge. I've seen these attorneys here numerous times does that. Maybe that's how they do it.
But what you are saying is that they wouldn't let us in the courtroom, because if they would have let the news media in the courtroom, the people could see what you're talking about. They wouldn't have to take your word for it. They wouldn't have to take my word for it. They wouldn't have to take the pastor's word for it in Waycross or Larry O'Hara or the brother from Clayton who talked about he saw the judge sleeping in the courtroom. You've said it from day one. In fact, every case that the Honorable Judge Richard Porter has presided in, he's been asleep in the courtroom. And yet, because maybe, I'm not saying this is the case, but there's a great possibility that this may be why he don't want no cameras in the courtroom. There have been more high-profile cases than they had cameras in the courtroom, and so that might be why the news media, WSB came the other time. They wouldn't let them in the courtroom, so they ain't been back. So I didn't mean to take so long, but it's just, I want people to understand that whatever you say here today could have been documented on the news media TV camera. They wouldn't let us in the courtroom. But I understand that you started trying to do something about that. What did you do about that?
Well, I filed a open records request because I did find out in the cameras inside the courtroom. I mean, it's about 3 to 4 cameras in every courtroom. Then I found out these cameras are on. Thus, I filed an open records request to get a copy of each one of those hearings that's been involved with the Johnson family, and then you will see the truth for yourself. If those cameras are working on, and if they give me one. But if they don't give them to me, it's going to be hell to pay, and they're going to have to answer to somebody why I ain't got them. But as I said, he was right. Judge Porter sleeping in the court. Now this makes me understand. If he did it in the Johnson case, who to say if a man is up for his life? I think the Judicial Qualification Commission, the state, the U.S. Attorney General, all of them need to come in and pull the records on this whole tape or wherever his judicial circuit at and see how many times during key testimony that this judge was up on the stand, sleep. And I know if he did it here, he'd do it in every case that he's been involved in.
Jackie, the mother of KJ, she told me yesterday she didn't want to go on the camera, I guess, because of her attorney, and that's good. I'm not going to let her go against that. But she said that every time he go to sleep, she was trying to get him, and she was documenting the time, each time that he went to sleep. I got some of them recorded myself. But my thing is that today, it surprised me because he took a pretty long nap today. And that really got me. I mean, I just looked at that one with his mouth was open. His head was leaning back, but he was asleep, sure enough asleep. And so now, if we know about this, and if we don't say anything, then how in the world can we send our sons off to war and talk about freedom of the press and freedom of religion and the right to vote and all this kind of jazz? It seems like something is happening to our rights, but the people in America are either going to sleep at the wheel or done train wreck somewhere in space. Now, go back to your point about what you've seen in the courtroom that's not typical for to be done in a court of law.
Well, mainly the trial attorneys, the defense attorney, the 8 white attorneys has basically led this case, not the judge. The judge is supposed to be the overseer, the dictator of the courtroom. He the ruler of the courtroom, but he has sit back and allow these attorneys to say what they want, act like they want, with attitudes, get smart, and just disrespect Attorney King and even the court itself.
Let me interrupt you right here. Today, Attorney Turner kept saying negative things about Shaveen King, and they've been doing it. But today it was like as if though King couldn't take it no more. And he didn't talk to the judge. He told Attorney Turner, here's what he said: I recommend that you cease now. He said cease. I guess you can define that for me. He said, I want you to cease from that, from referring to me and what I'm doing as a shenanigan. He said, I want you to stop. And so he said it with power. And I think the people in the courtroom could feel his pain. And he'd been very patient throughout. But it seemed like he just got tired of it. Then the judge responded and said to King, I expect both of you to be professionals. I'm quoting what he said. I got it documented. Both of y'all to be professional. Well, King have never done what they've done. I don't even see why he would make a statement like that, say both of you, when King never did that. But it threw him in the same box with everybody. And I'm gonna tell you, I wish to God that there would be a law in the state of Georgia that will force these judges to allow all high-profile court cases such as KJ case to be recorded and not banned from the general public.
And it's possible there may be a law, that's why they got courtroom cameras, but we, as most people and black folks, I made to say it, is uneducated and informed, that we can look and see they got cameras all over the courtroom. Anything that's on these cameras inside and out, you have a right to get a copy to, because that's public record.
Well, it seemed like it should be, but they're changing laws every day now. They are taking away our rights. Look at me. I'm still going to say it. 3 months, 3 years, and 4 months under a criminal trespass for not violating the law, and not one United. That's why I'm going to the United Nations. Nobody in the United States will even address my issue. And I don't know whether you know it or not. Did you read in the paper the other day wherein they talk, somebody says it's already in the United Nations. Great Britain talked about it. That how they're killing blacks here in this country, and the United Nations done weighed out in. So I'm going to the United Nations with my situation.
Well, that's what informed. I don't know if you heard me about maybe a month ago, that we are in the process of filing a complaint to the United Nations to charge the United States government for murder charges against blacks, brutality, assassination, and basically attacking the immigrations and naturalization laws. Because when it comes to those laws, we have been uneducated through black, and I'll just explain one. There's nowhere in the Constitution that said black folks are citizens. Nowhere in the Constitution. What it says is the 14th Amendment, and the 14th Amendment was never properly rectified by Congress. Thus, the 14th Amendment does not say we are citizens, it says we are aliens of African descent.
Well, explain one more level to me, my beautiful brother. Brother, you get criticized sometimes, just like me. But did not this country get where it is today because of freedom fighters, including white right people? I met a white guy last night. I ain't gonna tell you where he was. Let me say this. Did you know what the white guy said last night? He said he was from Washington, D.C. And he said, you George Boss? I said, yeah. He said, I've been watching your video. I probably don't watch every one that you put up. And he told me, just like the white guy that told me over there from the Georgia military about 2 years ago. He's a young man, gave me a big contribution. So you keep doing what you're doing, because if we don't stand up in this country, we are going to lose all our rights. So I made a friend last night, and I'm hoping that this friend, he from Washington, D.C., he now live somewhere in this area. I ain't gonna tell you who he is, because he just, I call him a good white right person. And people don't understand. A lot of professors at BSU, I used to go to potluck with them. They like me for what I'm doing. A lot of white people across the nation love what I'm doing. And yet they gonna try to make all white folks dislike me because I'm standing up like you stand up, and like others, include some of the pastors, not all of them, but they are standing up for the best of our democracy. And I served 21 years. And it's not about black and white, but it's more about right and wrong.
That's right.
On you.
And forget about not just the white folks, the white folks, the right wrong folks.
Yes, sir.
Right. The black wrong and right folks.
That's true.
We got them. We call them bootlickers, Uncle Tom, Chicken Joe's, Thomasina's, and Toms, Uncle Toms.
I want you to drop this on the people. Now, we know that over in Douglas, Olivia Colin Pearson, they're trying to drive her out of it. That's all it's about. They tried to get her for voting fraud. We now got the Douglas Ford. But what I want you to talk about, don't say no, don't expose what has happened. But is there not a group of people now that have gotten together? They're going from county to county, from area to area, to connect the dots. And even to the point of the district attorneys who's sitting back and watching all this go on and do nothing about it. Is there not people now coming together to try to get this to a larger scale, because local entities, including the state of Georgia, seem not to give a damn?
Yes, there's a group, and they're going around and have a meeting, another meeting. This is going to be.
Don't tell them too much. Don't tell them.
I'm going to tell you too much, but it's coming in Waycross. But there's a group that's going around. You can contact George or myself. Just go on Facebook. I'm pretty sure if y'all watching it, if you're interested in getting involved or getting in with this group to attack these people. I'm like this. I'm going to say it. I have said it many times. My knowledge and my understanding of the law, that's what I'm going to use. That's what I'm going to push, and that's what I'm going to go after. If I'm going to sue, because that's the only thing that people understand. And I used to say all white people, but it's mostly white people because they're the one running everything. But it's black folks too. So I'm here to tell you, I'm going to sue till you get tired of being sued. And if that don't work, sue you till you go bankruptcy. If that don't work, then I'm going to sue your mama for having you. I'm just being honest.
In closing, if you can, Brunswick, Georgia. Francis Johnson went over there, and I mean, just give. You gonna close it out by what you say now. I'm not gonna say. I'm not even gonna close it out. What I want you to say now. We went to Brunswick. The NAACP president went there and got another black brother over there who's a warrior. You remind me of Malcolm X. Mention his name because I know he don't care. And we probably next 3 weeks gonna meet with him and interview him. But what is the case in Brunswick, short form, and close out? I'm not gonna say nothing.
Well, the case in Brunswick is the way the public defenders and with handling the public defender's office and the fraud and deception, everything that's going on in the Brunswick judicial circuit. This would even include the federal level on the Brunswick 19, where all these people was arrested without a warrant, without a supporting affidavit. But basically, Mr. Zach Larry, he is a warrior, been a warrior alone. He even stood up to President Johnson with the NAACP on what his views and what he thought. And it was good. He debated it, and he was on point. And I just hate to say it, I love him.
And he a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah, and Vietnam better. And I just love, don't get me wrong, I love President Johnson. But as the NAACP president, I feel he could, as him being the NAACP Georgia State Conference president, I feel he can do more. I feel he can participate in more. And I know he has his own practice, and he has to fulfill his clients and all that. But to all the NAACP, SLC, and all of them, I see all these people can do more than what they're doing. I have been involved at one point with all of them. And we all can do more. Even I can do more. And I'm going to tell you now, if I had Donald Trump, I didn't say that loud, the Trump money, if I had his money, I would go broke to bring the government to their knees.
What do you think, who do you think has the power to break this system? And what do you think needs to be done? Like, who needs to be uniting together, you know?
Thank you very much. You are really nice and you are powerful. That is a powerful question. What could bring about that change is, as I said, if the football games were interrupted.
Today we journeyed into the courtroom in the Valdosta, Lowndes County Judicial Complex. This particular case dealing with the legal fees of attorneys and suits against the KJ family. Mr. Worthy from Justice League United was once again here in the courtroom. How you doing today?
I'm good.
What do you think about the case today and the progression of it and how it's going?
Well, it's going. I don't think it's really going the way the attorneys think it's going to go.
Well, the first thing I want to address is that we ended up the testimonies from the sheriff's department, right?
The sheriff department.
We also ended up with who else?
Lowndes County.
The county.
We'll return back tomorrow with the county. Continue in the county.
With
Lowndes
the county
School Board.
Okay, that's the school.
Yeah, Lowndes County High School.
But the sheriff department is finished.
Sheriff department is finished.
And so, the attorney for the school will be back tomorrow.
Yes.
Now, to the people who don't attend this case, they won't know nothing about it. Have you seen anything in the newspaper, on TV about what's going on in this case?
Nothing. Only reporter there is George Botched with the Get Over Your Press. You. Nobody else is coming. Nobody reporting. The judge, the judge went to sleep again multiple times. It seems that nobody cares about what's going on or what they're trying to do in the Kendrick Johnson case. For the attorney fees, CB again is awesome. Attorney for the Johnson family, pounding them with evidence after evidence and phase after phase, and I still think the judge kind of trying to rush him through. But CB pays it no attention and just go and do what he got to do.
Okay. How is Jackie responding in the case? Is she strong, or how do you think she's handling?
Oh yeah, Miss Jackie holding up. She's a soldier. She's holding up. She's angry. She wants justice for her son. She's holding on in that courthouse. Never bowing down. Never backing up.
Okay, and so this is about the third or fourth gathering concerning the attorney fees assessment against the family. But would you say that some of the fees and the way that they figured them is being questioned even by the judge?
Oh yeah, he definitely questioning the attorney fees. Now he's being more alert. He's actually following the documentation, and he's even stopping and intervening and asking questions, even correcting the attorneys. Listen, you need to just answer the question. We don't need an explanation. Answer the question and move on.
What do you think about the mannerism of Jim Elliott on the stand?
Jim Elliott to me is very disrespectful. He is very dominating, and I don't know if it's inattention on the judge's point or the judge is not paying attention. He allows the attorneys to run, basically the defense attorneys to run the courtroom. He's not telling them, hey, okay, we don't need the attitude, answer the question. He's not, especially with Jim Elliott. Jim Elliott is, he got mad several times during testimony, angry, got smart. I don't know what the problem is with the judge and Jim Elliott, because he's never correcting Jim Elliott, even running to the court. Even today when he swore in, he had an attitude by swearing himself in. I don't think that's appropriate. I think somebody else should have swore him in. I don't think he should have swore himself in. Even when he did that, he had an attitude. So.
That's the first time I'd ever seen somebody swear themselves in.
Yes.
But what do you think about the exchange between Shaveen King and about the? He said he delivered some. He delivered some kind of paper subpoena to. Yeah. And do you know what that was about?
Well, yeah, he said he delivered the subpoena to Jim Elliott.
Him who?
Shaveen King, the attorney for the Johnson family, delivered the subpoena. I believe Jim Elliott was lying. I believe the judge knew he was lying, and the judge ordered him to turn over those receipts of how much that has been paid already in the Kendrick Johnson case. So he ordered him to turn over those fees, to turn over the receipts. So CB should have them by tomorrow, if he don't have them already in his email.
So that got to be a pretty bad exchange there for a minute, didn't it?
Yeah, because Jim Elliott stood up, lied. CB told his story, of course, which was more believable than Jim Elliott. And like he said, he could have took a few minutes or more and just grabbed those the subpoenas that CB put in and answered CB. And he could have been answered that subpoena. He was just being sarcastic, trying to be smart. And then again, to me, toward Jim Elliott, it seems like him and the judge are some kind of friends, or good friends, and that, because he never questions his attitude, the way his aura, the things he do. He can say anything he want when he want and get smart with Shaveen King. Shaveen King never breaks stride. He just goes right on at him and keeps striving, putting that information down on him and asking those questions.
But when Jim Elliott, Attorney Elliott, spoke of or responded to what King brought before the judge, he had the documents right there. But it seemed like he waited until the judge, it was like as if though, to me, he should have known. I mean, he had the documents.
Yeah, he should have gave them to him.
And he had copies because he was able to give everybody a copy of them. So, it's amazing, when you say that it's amazing how people are treated in the courtroom, period, just general how some people are treated.
Yeah, just general, like I said, to me, I think something going on with the judge and Jim Elliott, because it seems like anything he do, he's allowed to run in the courtroom, operate the courtroom. He objecting to questioning, and the judge is not even ruling on his objection, just letting it go on. Well, I object, I'm not going to answer that. Or the day like the day he said, my answer is the same as before. Or he'll say, I can't recall. I mean, you giving testimony to your statements, your stuff, you talking about you can't recall. Numerous times, multiple times, he said he can't recall at this time.
This is the second day this week, and of course it will go on tomorrow and Thursday, I think. But we did get rid of, they finished up the city, am I right?
I think the city is not finished.
Oh, really?
I think the city may come back up tomorrow. You finish up Elliott, which was the sheriff department, and you got Lowndes County School gonna finish up tomorrow. The city didn't finish their testimony up from yesterday. We had convened from yesterday. I could be wrong, but I don't think they finished up the city.
Okay, but anyway, if soon we'll have 3 of them finished.
Yes.
And after having the 3, we got what? 7 more to go, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, they're about 8.
It's 8 attorneys altogether.
Okay.
5 more.
5 more, yeah. And I don't think we'll end this week. But the point is that I will continue to ask the citizens here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, and the state of Georgia. It's just like the Equipment 10 plus 2 court case. Would you agree with me that it seems like all this news and what's going on is just not being reported?
It's not. And the judge is trying to, Inmate, the judge is trying to cover up or hide something. They don't want no cameras in there. Don't want the news media bringing them cameras. But as I did today, I filed the open records request for all 3 trials. Today I served the county board of commission and the head of security, which is the captain here, with a open records request. They got 3 days to give me copies of those court proceedings.
That's really why I came up here tonight, and so we can pretty near end it on that. I came back up here tonight because I wanted to record at night because I'm going to show look here, brother. I'm going to show where you served those papers. And what I gotta ask this again. What make you do what you do, man?
Just in me, man. This is my high. This is my crack cocaine, my alcohol. This is my drive. Fighting injustice. I don't make no lot of money at this. I don't make no money at it at all. I just love attacking injustice and letting these people know that they can't get away with everything they think.
One other thing just popped in my mind. This here. Many people, I'm sure, here in Valdosta have seen those cameras. Minister Robertson and myself have asked about those cameras. We see them throughout the courthouse. But very few people know whether they're working, whether they are recording, who's responsible for maintaining them, and if they can get copies of it, and if it is open to be seen by the general public, that you can acquire them through the Open Records Act. So what you did today is that you first you asked, explain to us, walk through where you first started asking about it, what happened.
Well, what I did is the first thing I asked the security was, those cameras in the courtroom working? He said yes. Every time there's a court hearing in the Lowndes County Courthouse and in them courts, all the security, the cameras in the courtrooms are running. And I asked him, how would I get a copy? He said, man, I don't know. So he said, go talk to the supervisor. So I went and talked to the supervisor, the captain, I can forget his name. I talked to him, and he said the county board of commissioners was responsible for the tapes. So I went to see the county commissioners, and they told me that the sheriff department is responsible for the security on those tapes. So I got tired of the runaround, so I served both of them with an anthelium notice. I served him, not an anthelium notice, but a open records request to copies of those dates that the Kennedy Johnson family was here, and those dates with the when the Kennedy Johnson trials was going on, the Johnson family trials, on all 3 dates, 3 to 4 times we was here, and I served CC the copy to the board of county commissioners, so we can, because the county saying the board of commissioners saying it's the sheriff department saying it's them, so I hit both of them, and they got 3 days to get them to them. And by the way, those tapes are public record. Any hearing that the public is allowed, then you have access, legal access to public records. That is not private.
But if you never bring it up, nobody would ever know. In fact, from what you are telling me, there's a great possibility that even the government entities don't know whose responsibility that it is, and if they do, maybe they don't want you to know, maybe they don't want the general public to know. But I'm determined to let the people know that when the founding fathers of this great republic said that this is a free, open, democratic society with the power to the people, and I served 21 years, and that when we was in the military, that's what they kept telling us. You are fighting for your freedom, your democracy. But it seems like a lot of things are closed. So I commend you for what you're doing. I'm gonna let you close after the sirens go by. Police go. What's your name?
My name is Reverend Jeffrey Benoit. I'm the president of the Clayton Henry chapter of the National Action Network and a candidate for the 2016 State Representative, District 76, which covers the Connolly, Fairview, Stockbridge, Forest Park, Rex and Morrow, and Rex, Georgia.
Because you call it National Action Network. Who's the founder of that organization?
The founder is Reverend Al Sharpton, who founded the National Action Network in 1991, so this is our 25th year.
First, I want to ask Bobby, what did you say that you saw the judge doing in the courtroom today?
Sleeping.
What did you say you saw him doing?
Sleeping.
Did you see him?
Oh, he was not. He was not, and at least 3 times that I counted.
I heard several other people, I want to be on camera, that you all saw that. Now, how?
The judge has proven that that he really don't want the cameras in the court. I mean, and I understand why, because the last trial he went to sleep 4 or 5 times, and this time he went to sleep 4 times, nodded on the bench. So I mean, no one is saying about it. Even when the media was there the last time, you was the only one who reported that the judge was asleep.
If they did this to me, and they did, they also can do this to you, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and coming generations.
What do you think, who do you think has the power to break this system? And what do you think needs to be done? Like, who needs to be uniting together, you know?
Thank you very much. You are really nice and you are powerful. That is a powerful question. What could bring about that change is, as I said, if the football games were interrupted, if these people find a way to not play football until some change come to Valdosta. In fact, I believe that sports perhaps is the only way that real change is going to come here. I say that because right now we are known around the nation as Titletown, USA. But we are not only Titletown in football in terms of producing good football players. We are also Titletown when it comes to unsolved murders and killings, unsolved deaths in the jail. They say they have rats as big as cats in the jail. So perhaps we also have the title for having the biggest rats in any jail. So when they talk about Titletown, I think that football and those who benefit from the game, once the games are boycotted, I don't like the word boycotted, but it may have to be done. So a lot of this change gonna have to come through black folks taking on the initiative, along with white people who wanna see change and foster in change. So the bottom line, and bringing it home again, the power of breaking this system is in the hand of the people who can show the people in the state of Georgia that we are not back in the 1800s.
Greetings. Today is Thursday, October 31st, 2013. And I'm standing in front of the building called City Hall in South Georgia. This is the same building that had an 1860 Valdosta City Charter displayed in 2004. The Mayor, then John Freddie, and the council members reluctantly had this disgraceful charter removed. That charter read, and I'll quote, that the mayor and council shall pass all proper and necessary laws and ordinances for the control of slaves and free persons of color, and to control, suppress, and abate all nuisances arriving from hogs, dogs, horses, and other livestock ran at large in the city of Valdosta, Georgia. As a retired military veteran of 21 years, that disgraceful charter was a slap in the face for every active duty, disabled veteran, and retired military veteran to ever come into Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and the United States of America. Not only black folk, but the white as well. And so I asked that that charter be removed, and finally it was removed, but not without a fight. Some whites saw absolutely nothing wrong with it. But I'm here today to bear witness. As I have said many times since I retired here in 1991. I got here in 1989 on a humanitarian because my father was sick in Thomas County, Georgia. Leaving all that aside, I want to use that as a black backdrop. Today, I bear witness to you. If, following the death of Kenneth Johnson, if that family had not stood their ground, if Kenneth and Jackie had not stood and say we want justice when they were denied the very right to go see and ID their own child. And now I have found out that many parents that have loved ones to die here in Valdosta and Lowndes County are not permitted to ID their own child's body. And this is a disgrace. Regardless of what the law may be, it seems to me that that is the last respect a loved one could do, and the government officials could do, is to let a black, white, Japanese, German, Latino, or alien ID the child that they produce in God's word. Now, let me say it again, if the family had not stood their ground, if Victor Blackwell of CNN had not come into Valdosta along with his team and investigated and published what our Valdosta Daily Times and local South Georgia news media would not publish, if he had not come, if the Honorable Al Sharpton had not come, and if Edward Dubose, if others had not come, it would have just been another Earl Evans burned up in a police car in Quitman because he was dating a white woman and nothing happened. It would have been like Ed Denson and the Wootons drowned in Brooks County. Nothing was done about it. It would have been like Willie James Williams that died and 2,500 people marched on the Lowndes County Jail and nothing was done about it. It would have been like the 105 violations that the Honorable Judge Hugh Lawson ruled from the Middle District of Georgia and nothing was done about it. It would have been like the lynchings back in 1918, May to be exact, wherein Mary Turner, a black woman, had her baby ripped from her abdomen after 8 months of pregnancy, only for the baby to fall on the ground and the foot to be mashed and crushed to death by a white mob member's boot, and nothing was done about it. It would be much like Sidney Johnson, the injustice to happen to him right down the street here near Harrington's funeral home. Shot, castrated, tied behind a pickup truck, and dragged all the way out to Marvin, the old campground. And so now I get back on point. I say this not out of anger. I say this because Jesus said, "And ye shall know the truth, America." Do you not know that if the Johnson family had not stood their ground, you would have never seen the front page of the Valdosta Daily Times looking like this? Now, you can call me a liar. You can call George Foster Rhymes a complainer, but I speak the truth from the living God, and you cannot refute nothing that I've said. You can't do it to save your life. You cannot deny the truth that I'm speaking. You can't say I'm a liar about Willie James Williams, because I talked to his daughter. I talked to his children. They have received no justice. You can't say I'm lying about Earl Evans, the Densons, the Wootons, the Week of Terror, the Turner family who met in Hayhira with a 105 vehicle motorcade that left Hayhira and went to Folsom Bridge, where they murdered that black pregnant woman and nothing was done about it. That wasn't even published in the Valdosta Daily Times. And so we must understand, America, if we say that we are a nation of laws, then we got to be better than dirty draws and show America and the world that we live and that we mean what we say and what we write on paper. Now, if you are asking me, why am I speaking the way that I'm doing, and why have I been doing it for such a long time? It is because I could have died in Vietnam. People that I did not know, the Vietnamese hadn't done nothing to me. Yet I served during that era in Kuwait, in Panama, in other places. I could have been killed fighting for the rights of others. So many veterans are here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, and the state of Georgia, but they refuse to stand up for the pain and the suffering that I have seen in this place. And it all seemed to be hushed up, unreported. Nothing is done about it. It's like a clique, and those among the slicks, they don't report the black news. Don't take my word for it. Look at Boston G.B.R. channel. Google sewage coming up in a woman's kitchen in Quitman, Georgia, that the Quitman Free Press never reported. We'll see that there's no top on this, so it's obvious that sewage will come out, and that's not good, especially when you have kids playing. Once again, we are still in Quitman and in the county of Brooks, in the state of Georgia. I believe the EPA needs to come out and do what they do. But after 5 years of complaining, from what I'm told, well, things remain the same. By the way, we sent this to the EPA 3 days ago, and they have been called in. This is KVCI, this is George Foster Ryan, once again here in Quitman, Georgia. I was told about sewage being coming in this area here, and I'm told that it be so strong and just stinks. And so I just happened to come by. I was filming in other places. These people came out and told me, and I told them don't get on the camera because some of them work for various jobs and stuff, but they don't mind talking behind the camera. And so, tell me what happened, my sister.
Okay, I've been having sewage problems ever since I've been here. I've been here over 13 years. They tried to put it on me, said it was on my side. But when they looked into it, it was on their side. So they tried to make like a little settlement thing with me, and they go.
When you say settlement, what you mean?
They gave me like $2,000, and then after that, I still had that same problem. Okay, when it biked up, they told the city people told them that where I pay my light bill at, told them don't come down and do my sewage because it was on me, but it was not on me, it was on them. And the pipe that runs outside my house, that thing stay full of waste all the time.
Does it run out this way or what
It runs out this way, it goes all the way down, it circles around, and comes all the way back up.
So you telling me that this water here probably got waste in it, am I correct?
Yes, it does. Don't you see how it is right here? It's stuff, all that is waste, nothing but waste.
Well, the city don't know about it?
Yeah, they know about it.
Now, where do your sewage come out? Does it come out in here across this ditch, or it go through across another ditch?
It crosses this come from my way, goes this way, come to right. It's okay. It's a thing, go all the way around.
Okay.
On that side, right over there. And it comes right out on that side right there. I have mess come from other places, like restaurants and stuff.
What?
Grease.
Where? Oh,
it backs up to my pipe.
In your house?
In my house. I have waste come out my bathtub.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
How long ago?
It's doing it now. Every now and then, especially when a hard rain comes, I have my bathtub be nothing but waste.
What have you been to your city council and the mayor?
No, I haven't been to them because I didn't know who to go to talk to about.
Do you know that? Do you know that waste? That this is serious?
That's right. It could cause me to get sick.
Right.
One year, that thing was so messed up. My yard, I was pregnant with my little girl.
You mean your yard right here?
My yard, right there where my car is. I had so much waste in my backyard. I was pregnant with my daughter, and that was back in 2003.
You mean tell me it's been going on that long?
Yes.
What, nobody called the EPA?
No. It's a man come from Atlanta, and he looked at it. He said, ma'am, he said, I can't even go up under your house because you got so much waste up under your house. When I come out, I had on shoes, but I'm sliding on like you doing ice skating.
Is that in your yard?
In my yard, my whole backyard. They call themselves, brought me some grass. You see in the grass growed up there? But
they never did no cleanup or nothing like that?
No.
The top off of what?
Off of the sewer thing. You know where the waste goes?
Let's go ahead. Show me what you're talking about. Show me what you're talking about.
I keep mine on my own school though.
You keep it off?
Yes, that's on the way you get it flowing.
But she said she got hers fixed. If she got it fixed, you shouldn't have to do that. So yours ain't fixed.
It ain't fixed. It came back, so she talking about I don't screw it on there.
That's what I'm saying.
You see, that's why I got that thing.
So when you take it off, where it flow at?
It come out. It flow
in your yard?
Yeah.
And you live with that?
It's not there now. I think it'll be up here again. Mine, when I flush mine come right in my yard.
Oh, you mean when the water's high, you mean? Or
When
not?
it's not high, it flows that's why I got this right here over here. What I'm talking about. I got one of these right here by my doorstep right here.
Okay, all right, show me.
Okay, when you screw this right here off.
Show me.
Okay. I got that screwed off right now. I don't want to lift it up with my hand right now.
Okay.
I'm not using it straight back here.
Because sewage is dangerous. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait a minute. What you finna do?
You see what I'm talking about?
Wait a minute. Well. I notified EPA about this 3 days ago, but I haven't heard from them through email yet. I haven't received a phone call. I've provided my phone number and everything. We must understand that I had people to talk, and they've said that EPA have been out several times, but nothing has been done, and everything remains the same. So let's just continue. Now we're about to wind this up. Listen, please. Listen, please. I just find it in 2012. It's appalling.
I have to keep that top. Oh, see how that thing pulled up in there?
Yeah.
I have to keep that top off to keep my water flowing.
What?
Now, that don't make no sense. If I don't keep it off, it'll back up in my house.
And you keep it off, and so
I keep it out.
So this is why when it do overflow, it go all under your house.
No, that right there did that before I even start taking that top off.
I understand, but what I'm saying, so now when you take it off, nothing comes out of here then.
No, it don't come out, because you see it come. If it come out, it come no further than right here.
Right, okay.
But if a hard rain comes, it floats out.
That's what I was saying.
think has the power to break this system? And what do you think needs to be done? Like, who needs to be uniting together, you know?
Thank you very much. You are really nice and you are powerful. That is a powerful question.
If they did this to me, and they did, they also can do this to you, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and coming generations.
The rally that took place here in Valdosta was on page 4A of the Valdosta Daily Times, but front page in Jacksonville. The Quitman 10+2, a disgraceful, unpatriotic denial of blacks' constitutional rights in a dismissed court case against Lula Smart, one of the Quitman 10+2 that you don't know nothing about except what they put in this paper, and I'll assure you that it was not the beef of what took place in that courtroom. And so I have been crying out for a long time. But thank God for the courage. Thank God for the importunity of the Johnson family for standing strong. And I'm gonna say this. Can you imagine the Justice Department with Eric Holder under the first black African-American president taking so long to do whatever they are going to do? Look, Georgia Attorney General, he knows that Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia, are leading the state of Georgia in jail deaths. The Attorney General knows about it. Georgia Secretary of State know about it. Jack Kingston know about it. Sanford Bishop knows about it. And most every representative in the Georgia General Assembly knows that Valdosta and Lowndes County have more jail deaths than even Fulton County from 1994 to 2009, and from 2009 to 2013, they won't even report it. Black folk, the preachers, the deacons, the professional lawyers are going to sleep at the wheel while our children are filling the jails, the prisons, and death row. And we can't hear a damn thing about it from nobody. And so I thank God, although the preachers have not lined up for the most part behind these courageous men, all they want, all they ever asked for was that the truth be told. And there are those who don't want the truth to be told because they realize that what Jesus said would free the people, and therefore they don't want you free. And so they will not report the truth of the story. And so I heard on a conservative radio station and others criticizing CNN and Victor Blackwell for coming to Valdosta. But may I say to you this day, if there had been no CNN, if there had been no Victor Blackwell, if there had been no rallies, if there had been no Kenneth Johnson, if there had been no investigators, if there had been no attorney like C.B. King and Attorney Crumpton, you would have never, let me repeat, you would have never seen this on the front page of the Valdosta Daily Times. Kendrick Johnson would just been another black man dead. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it again. The black folk in Valdosta and Lowndes County had better wake up. I want you to know something else, black folk. Don't you be hating on white folk. White folk got more courage, many of them, than our black preachers. Oh yeah, some white right people got more courage, got more love for you than your own black religious leaders, whether they be Christians, Muslims, Jews, Hindu, or you. And so don't blame white folk. White folks have stood up for black folk when black folk would not stand up for themselves. Good white right people have stood up for us before we knew what the fight was all about.
jail because we want someone who love our children, who want to make a difference in our community. That's right. It's not because we did something wrong. We just want something. We want a change. We want something better for our kids. Because Prince County is made up of black kids. So who is best to go in our school system to teach our children and let them know that you can be somebody. You can be a barber. You can be a doctor. You can be a lawyer. You can be the best that you know how to be. You don't have to go to McDonald's and work. All right. You don't have to go to the city of equipment and then they teach us. You can be the best that you can be. That's right. So why are you all making us feel like we are criminals because we want the best for our children? I'm sorry, y'all, but I get very emotional. I don't want to think about what they did to us. If I don't talk about it, it's like a dream. But when I talk about it, it's reality. I had never been in jail. I had never had handcuffs on my arms. And that hurts. That hurts. People don't realize. They're standing by looking at us. They don't realize how this hurt us. Dogs go to jail with handcuffs on us. And people think about it. People know us. People know who we are. And how you dare them that we are criminals. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. It's hard. People looking at you that he did something wrong when you know he did something wrong. I'm sorry. I thank y'all. I thank y'all for being here with us. I just think that God bless you very much, y'all. Continue to support us, so we really need y'all. We had no anything wrong. All we want to make a difference in our community. That's all we wanted. That's all we wanted.
Is a miscarriage of justice in the state of Georgia that cannot be overlooked. The Secretary of State and the Governor have made it very purposeful that they will send the message that if you are African American and if you run for office and if you honestly win the election, you will be punished. The Governor, the Secretary of State are trying to intimidate and suppress the African American vote since they know if the 400,000 registered African Americans in the state of Georgia that did not vote in the last election cycle come out and exercise a right that people have died for, a right to vote. If the African American community and all people of color exercise their constitutional right to vote, it will mean the demise of this white privileged aristocracy here in Georgia. That is not American. That is not worthy of the state of Georgia. This prosecution is a travesty. The prosecutors, the Secretary of State, the Governor should be called out on what they have done to these women and called to publicly apologize for the 4 years that they have put them under this scrutiny and this character assassination. So that's it.
Once again, we must thank Shaveen King. We must also thank Nancy Dennard for doing an outstanding job all the way. The NAACP has been here all the way. This is, of course, Lula Smart. All that she has been through, she violated no law. And if they had not stood their grounds, if they had plea bargained, we wouldn't have had this day. This case just may set a precedent here in Georgia and in the United States of America. This is a very high day
And we just hope that some conclusion can come to the other people that have been charged in what we believe was either a conspiracy or retaliation for Black African Americans dominating the Brooks County School Board of Education. This is the mother right here. And we want to thank you. Oh my God. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. That's Diane Thomas. She's one of the quick 10 plus 2.
That's what I'm saying.
We're so thankful. So thankful. How you doing today? What do you want to say about it?
Oh, I just thank God. Thank God for this day that we've been waiting on for 5 weeks, 4 years. I just thank God that justice was done.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
For 21 years in the United States Armed Forces, I got to say something. I cannot sit back and dip and play the ostrich head game. And the ostrich head duck game is when you bury your head in the sand and pretend that you're in heaven with all your backside out. And so, I'm calling on 60 Minutes. I'm calling on Dateline, 48 Hours, Eric Holder, the Justice Department. After all, Eric Holder already know about this Quitman 10 case. The Georgia Attorney General, there was a time when we could call the Attorney General. We could call the Department of Justice. We could call our Congressional Black Caucus. We could call the civil rights organizations, and they would be here. But there's something strange that's happening in our world today. It seems as if though nobody cares about anybody anymore. Yet when the time comes for them to call our sons and our daughters to serve in the armed forces in foreign nations of the world to defend the rights of others, we gladly rush off to fight these wars. But when wars such as this take place here in Brooks County, the news media don't think enough of our active duty military personnel, disabled veterans, retired military veterans, and ordinary veterans and American people. We don't care enough to at least show good faith. Even if the Quitman Free Press was not going to report it, just for facelift, they ought to be in the courtroom. If ABC didn't want to report it because they have already received their instructions, they at least ought to be here as a good face. NBC, if they have received their instructions not to cover this by some higher-ups, maybe those in the clique and among the slicks, just out of good journalism, they ought to send somebody by to cover the Quitman 10+2 case. After all, they've been waiting over 4 years to have their day in court. So we must ask the question, have we ever heard of a speedy trial in the United States of America? Have we ever heard of a speedy trial here in Brooks County? Haven't finished yet. What about Oprah Winfrey? What about, what that guy named, Tyler Perry? If he can put all these other movies on to stimulate our circulation and put us in a thrill and kill, why can't he send some of his reporters down? Or to at least interview somebody? Well, this is nothing new, so I'm not amazed by this. If you go back to the Kendrick Johnson case, that's still pending in Valdosta in Lowndes County. Go back to my criminal trespass that still haven't been resolved. Go to the mayor, Linda Harris in Meigs, Georgia, the black elected mayor, arrested twice under 2 criminal trespass warnings. The council walked out on her. Then from there, I was called to Dawson, Georgia. Newly elected black mayor shot 6 times and left in his front yard for dead.
His neighbor came over. Today he's still in office, and I understand he's running again. Then I was called to Gordon, Georgia. Mayor ran the Whippoorwill. But you don't hear nothing about that on MSNBC and Al Sharpton. 60 Minutes won't talk about that. ABC won't talk about that. They'll tell you about a cat trapped in a tree or a dog that got ran over by an 18-wheeler. But when it comes down to these situations, Lumpkin, Georgia, where Mayor Charles Gibson was called a nigger by a fellow council member, a white female. Nobody have come in. Secretary of State, Governor Nathan Deal, Georgia Attorney General Sam Olens, nobody is saying nothing about it. So all of us can't go to sleep at the wheel. All of us cannot go to sleep at the wheel. And so I have counted at least 11 cities where black, newly elected black mayors are catching pure heaven on the backside of hell. And yet, nobody says anything. It is getting strange, y'all.
First of all, I'd like to say that we commend the Whitman 10+2 for the way they handle themselves during this time. The thing about it that was so beautiful is that it was all of us. And they had a wonderful team. Sister Lulu Smart, Nancy Denner, Mrs. Simmons from Atlanta, and Attorney King. They made those people look like amateurs.
Yes. Amen. Woo!
I want to give you a little background, but I'm so thankful to the Whitman 10+2 that they did not take a plea bargain.
Amen.
Amen. If they had been convicted of one crime, that would have been a felony on their records, and they would have been messed up for life. My prayer to God was total exoneration, innocent on all counts, and God brought us through.
Sure did.
I want to give you a little background. Now, the United States Constitution guarantees each person equal protection under the law. The United States Constitution guarantees that every person of our nation is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The rights of these citizens were violated. Amen.
Yes, sir.
And what angers me so is the fact that Sister Latasha Head died with these accusations hanging over her head.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
yet there are still with her 11 people that still have to be tried. This case has been going on for 4 years.
Sir.
Now, you have to understand one thing, and that is every person is entitled to a speedy trial. Their rights was violated. Now, why did it take over 4 years to bring these people to justice? It's because they didn't have a case.
Right.
Amen.
That's right.
They didn't have a case. They were hoping that they would take the plea. But when they didn't do that, they had to prove their case. And if you were in the courtroom,
That's right.
you would have seen one of the biggest fiascos you ever wanted to see in your life.
Oh, yes.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
The witnesses lied on the stand.
Yes, yes, yes.
The Georgia Bureau of Investigation lied on the stand.
That's right.
Yes.
Falsified documents.
That's right.
Yes.
The Secretary of State lied on the stand.
Yes.
Boone from the post office, who started this whole mess, lied on the stand, all to try to make these citizens look guilty.
My Lord.
But thank God that we have a God who sits high.
Come on now. Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord.
That's right.
The sad thing about this case is Governor Deal, who is the leader of the state of Georgia, left the state capital to come down here and suspend people who were elected to the school board.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
This election was certified
Yes, sir.
and without due process of law.
That's right.
Every person is entitled to due process of law.
Yes.
That's right.
But he's put it upon himself to suspend Dr. Nancy Danner, who has a doctor's degree.
Yes, sir.
Sister Diane Thomas, who has a master's degree.
Earned.
And Sister Linda Troutman.
Yes, Lord.
They treated us like, you got excuse me for saying us, because I was just as angry as they were.
That's right. That's right.
Every citizen in Brooks County should have been angry
Upset.
Come on now.
Yes, sir.
for the way they treated our citizens.
Yes,
That's right.
sir.
But yet many people didn't get involved because, number one, you thought they was guilty because the white man said they was.
There it is. There it is.
Come on now.
That's all right.
That's it. And you're scared.
Come on now. That's it. That's it.
My question is, how are you going to get the horse back into the barn?
That's right.
These people's names have been tarnished, their reputation besmirched, they have been talked about, accused of different things, and now they are proven innocent. How are you going to get the horse back in the... How will you restore these people good name and reputation? How are we going to do that?
What do you think, who do you think has the power to break this system? And what do you think needs to be done? Like, who needs to be uniting together, you know?
Thank you very much. You are really nice and you are powerful. That is a powerful question.
And so I'm going to continue to say, because I love this nation, we had better wake up. We had better wake up. The young black boys are not like the older black people. They don't live in fear. They have no jobs. They have no hope. They have no faith in the justice system. They have no faith in law enforcement. So they only have one hope, and that is to die fighting. And when they start their movement, they can't call the black preachers because the young folk don't listen to the religious leaders and they don't listen to the politicians because they've lied to them for too long. Now, why am I talking like this? I'm saying this because I think Valdosta is a good place to live. I believe that Lowndes County is ideally located. It's just people in positions of power who don't want to see change here. Do you not know we home to Moody Air Force Base, Valdosta State University, and a lot of other historic, promising organizations and businesses? But until Valdosta move into the 21st century, we're going to continue to have a 1860 charter mentality to control, suppress, and abate all nuances arriving from hogs, dogs, horses, and other animals, not only against black folk, but against white folks as well. And so, I'm not a Muslim, but I'm going to quote in closing what Elijah Muhammad said. And I think that America needs to listen to these words. He said, America, beware of what you see happening on distant shores, because soon it will be knocking at your door. And so, many of our young people, they don't have nothing to live for and everything to die for. They don't have no jobs. Go to Office Max and look at people that are employed. See how many black people do you see employed there. Go around to the restaurants here in Valdosta and Lowndes County and see how many black waitresses that you see employed, getting money. And black folk go and fill these places and spend their dollars, and these people won't even hire them. Now I'm gonna say to you, condemn me. Don't criticize me. Don't call me a racist. Don't call me a complainer. Disapprove me based on facts. And that you cannot do. Because the God I serve gave me many things, but he did not give me the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And so, if our children are not employed, if our children are not a part of the property owners downtown, if they don't get any of the street paving from the federal dollars that's coming in here, if Splosh will splosh in the Valdosta, but won't splosh on the south side of Toon Street, Troop Street, and other streets, and Forest Streets, and if they can splosh in here, but don't splash in the black community. Now, I'm not talking about my community, because I live in a white community, but I'm talking about the south side. Now, I'm living in a white community, but I'm still in poverty. I'm not rich. I miss a couple of payments, my house will be gone. So, I want to commend Kenneth Johnson and Jackie, the grandmother, the grandfather, Eddie Tooley, and others. I'm saying to you, C.B. King and Attorney Crump, we thank you so much for standing up not only for KJ, but for all these other injustices in the probation system. They tell us that there are rats in the jail big as cats. The Honorable Judge Hugh Lawson already know about it. Judge Hugh Lawson of the Middle District of Georgia, he ruled in June of 1997. He gave Lowndes County and the Sheriff Department 2 years to answer those complaints. And when I wrote to the District Attorney, David Miller, and when I wrote to Sarah Crow, the Clerk of the Court, and when I wrote to the Honorable Judge Hugh Lawson, they said nothing. It is as if though, nobody needs or cares about the black man and woman and their children until they need us to fight these damn wars. When our war is right here in the homeland. Now you all can condemn me for what I'm speaking, but look, I'm gonna give you an open invitation. Boston G.B.R. at gmail.com. Email me and we can sit down behind the camera and you can disapprove anything that this man have said. But I'm here to tell you, because I am at least of average intelligence, you can't disapprove or call me a lie on anything that I've said. I'm going to add one more. On May the 8th, 2010, I have documented proof that an individual from the Lowndes County Jail wrote the Honorable Judge Turner and the Clerk of the Court about a Tazer death in medical at the jail. I have said that to Sheriff Prine at least 3 times. Once at the Democratic headquarters right down here on Patterson Street. He was gonna get back with me, like he said he was gonna get back by my unjust criminal trespass warning. I'm 161 days now being restricted from all properties of Lowndes County school system, not because I violated any law, but because of following the KJ death, somebody chose to put that restriction on me. And so it stands as of this day. If they did this to me, and they did, they also can do this to you, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and coming generations.
What? But us the Daily Times ain't gonna report this story. You know why? Because but us the Daily Times are tied in. Huh? No, they're not gonna report this story.
And it somehow raised a price siege. The technicality, you know, the technicality, all they had to do was file a petition or request. When you really think about from day one, these parents and Attorney King have been asking for the video surveillance to be released. And now, at 10 months past, they say, oh, all you have to do is file a request, we will give it to you. Would we be here filing these legal actions if it was that simple that they were going to give this videotape up? We absolutely believe somebody has already viewed that videotape, and for whatever reason, they do not want these parents to view that videotape.
And is it true that right now that video is in the hands of the U.S. Attorney's Office, Michael Moore in particular?
We think the video is in the hands of a lot of government officials.
What do you think, who do you think has the power to break this system? And what do you think needs to be done? Like, who needs to be uniting together, you know?
Thank you very much. You are really nice and you are powerful. That is a powerful question.
I'm going to add one more. On May the 8th, 2010, I have documented proof that an individual from the Lowndes County Jail wrote the Honorable Judge Turner and the clerk of the court about a Tazer death in medical at the jail. I have said that to Sheriff Prine at least 3 times. Once at the Democratic headquarters right down here on Patterson Street. He was gonna get back with me, like he said he was gonna get back by my unjust criminal trespass warning. I'm 161 days now being restricted from all properties of Lowndes County school system, not because I violated any law, but because of following the KJ death, somebody chose to put that restriction on me. Once again, it's George Boston Rhymes on YouTube. That's Boston G.B.R. I'm here in the city of Valdosta once again, and I just heard some more horror stories about the Valdosta and Lowndes County Jail. And as you know, we have tried to get local, state, and federal people, including the Department of Justice here, to do something about the continuous deaths and alleged abuse or alleged complaints that we at the NAACP, the SCLC, the brothers, Edward DuBose, who's the state conference president in the state of Georgia of the NAACP, are fully aware of what's going on here in Valdosta, Lowndes County Jail, as well as the SCLC of Mostella, have all been notified through one form or another of what's going on. But I got a call today and I came to a location. First of all, there was a young lady. I'm not going to talk about her right now. I'm going to do a separate story on her, about her experiences in the Lowndes County Jail last year under Sheriff Prine. And people are saying that little has changed. We know that Judge Hugh Lawson ruled in 1997 with 105 violations in the Valdosta and Lowndes County Jail. The Justice Department has been notified, but absolutely little to nothing has been changed. We have written the district attorney and the clerk of the court, and nobody will tell us who ensured that court order was ever complied with. And so we have an individual here. He has disguised his voice. He don't want to be on camera, and I don't much blame him, considering what I just been told by 3 or 4 other people who gathered here, called me, wanted to tell their stories. And we understand that there's possible people that's working at the jail want to tell their story to free up their minds. I understand that some people even went to Greenleaf. Some people went to try to get some help because they have trouble in their minds dealing with what they know is going on in that facility. My beautiful individual, tell your experience and what you know. Just tell your story.
Well, I know that in May 8, 2010, a medical inmate was killed. And I know that nothing have been did, and Shirley Lewis ordered the force to be used, and he was throwing like 3,500 votes. And I know the officer involved, Officer Allen and Officer Surratt. I know the officer was involved. We know that's true. They need to be brought to justice. And I was up there in medical. They know I was, but I'm gonna keep my name where they'll never know. But at this time, I know Shirley Lewis should be brought to justice for it because she ordered that he be removed because they was going to switch the cell. And at medical, they think inmates play with them. They think nothing don't be wrong with you. Come in with medical problems, they're like, nothing ain't wrong with you. And Shirley have a lot to do. Shirley Lewis have a lot to do with it. But I'm going to keep my name till one day that, I know the mayor was there that day when he was killed.
What mayor? What mayor?
Mayor Predator, he was there. And I know that the coroner was there. I can't think his name, but I know that they know that he was murdered. I know that.
Now, you don't want to use the word murdered. You say died or killed. You don't want to use murdered. Okay, go ahead.
Well,
go ahead.
He was killed, died, and I know that they were responsible for what happened to him. And I know I kept hearing them saying that it was like 3,000 some votes. And then I know one officer that her name is Sharon Jason. She's like my brother. And I know she know if somebody questioned her about it, she probably just tell the truth what went on, because she come up there and told him to bless the body once he was dead. They called man lifesaver was dead, then they called the coroner. But they moved him out where no inmate went see. And all the nurses and also were crying that liked the inmate that was killed. They was crying at that time, and I know that. But they moved me from medical immediately the next day because I told the inmate in the cell they hear all what was going on. And I didn't see exactly what went on. I just looking under the door when they was using their force. But I know that I heard everything they was saying, and Shirley was crying. Somebody gave her $6 to go to the motel. I don't know, up front. She called somebody and say she need a couple days off. And somebody up front, I don't know, but Montgomery questioned me about a week later. After that, I tell another inmate that he knows something about some killing. And I told him no, because I was scared. I feared for my life.
You was feared for your life?
Yep.
Are you afraid for your life now?
Yeah, I'm afraid for my life, yeah.
Why?
They got so much power. They been doing stuff, but I've been choked before. And there's 90s out there.
Do you know about this court order here that was filed back in '97, and Dorothea Patterson was the lead plaintiff, and Judge Hugh Lawson found 105 violations. And
I really know about 1988.
88. Well, this is the same one.
Yeah,
it's 88. It stems off of 89.
I was in prison during that time,
okay.
and I understand. I remember when they filed it, and he ordered a lot of stuff. They never went by the rules. They never did. They don't go by the rules.
Do you believe that there's that anything will ever change out there?
No, because what it is, they got too much power. They got power.
They probably beyond the Justice Department.
Yeah, no, the Justice Department they getting away. And then one reason I say they're getting away because the district judge, I think that all of them in together or something.
You think they're all in together?
Yeah, I do.
But do you think that's correct under our form of government? Do you think that it should be that way?
The governor of Georgia don't got nothing to do with them, because when big people come in, they shut them down. They make it look like the inmate might be bad. You know, they get away. And I like Shirley. She got too much power as a nurse.
Well, Shirley is often mentioned on the Courts of Fear video back in '97. And so she got to be doing a good job because she's been there a long time. I don't know.
You know why? Because they want somebody like her there. They want somebody that go along they work.
Now, let me ask you another question. Do you know you could be sued if what you're saying is lies? You can't just go making statements against anybody like that unless you know what you're talking about.
Sure, let me tell you something. One of my girlfriends back in '97, I had what you call a stomach testing thing. And my girlfriend brought my medicine out there. I had to get in touch with Calmona for me to get it. The medicine was $700. And Shirley wouldn't even let me get it. I had to get in touch with Calmona when he was the captain out there. And he made her give me my medal. She wouldn't even give it to me. It was in the '90s. So I know about them.
Okay, all right. Well, you want to tell your story? I'm not going to even get into the medical situation you told me about to relieve your mind. You didn't talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it either. But you did have to do something because you were worrying about what you witnessed, and you want something done about it. Am I correct?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to close this out. Anything else you want to say before we close?
No, I just bring them to justice for that murder. They ain't no natural death. They can say what they want to say.
You know different, huh?
Yeah.
And give me that date again. What date you say you think it was?
May 8, 2010.
Now, you think, was it 8th or 9th or 10th or 7th? What day was it?
8.
You sure about that?
2010.
May 8, 2010.
2010.
What about the Valdosta Daily Times? Was it ever reported?
No, never reported.
No news, no television.
And I went to the mental health clinic because I couldn't rest at night because of what went on. I didn't even rest when I was in there. I was scared to even deal with them.
All right, well, to everybody who listened to this clip, I want to say to you all, this is what Reverend Floyd Rose of the SCLC, Lee Touchton, NAACP, state presidents, Edward DuBose, this is what we have been trying to bring to the Justice Department attention. We know that the Justice Department have told us over and over again that they are concerned about what goes on in the United States of America. We know that the Justice Department has said that they wanted information. We know that the Justice Department has a copy of the Chorus of Fear, and we know they have the names of the approximate 30 deaths that have taken place since 1997 to 1994. It is also well known here in South Georgia as well as Atlanta that we are now unable to know exactly how many deaths have taken place in the Lowndes County Jail since 2009 to the present because they are no longer under the Georgia Open Records law, and there's nothing we can do about it. And the citizens of Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and in the United States of America do not have a need to know, and they don't have a right to know. And so here behind closed doors, we're like a people that are deaf, dumb, and blind to the times and unable to make intelligent decisions based on information that should be available to all citizens in the United States of America as we believe it. But then again, I guess, like my brother say, the Lowndes County and Valdosta is too big. But what I don't understand is how did Mayor John Freddy come to the jail and it wasn't reported in the newspaper. But I guess I just have to leave that alone. Maybe the Justice Department or maybe some other person can deal with that. I just talked to Brother Rose about this. I talked to Lee Touchton earlier when I got this call about the day. And so we hoping that somebody in the United States of America will do for the American citizens what they would do if this was told in Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, or some other little small third world communist nation. Until next time, this is George Boston Rhymes in the city of Valdosta, doing what we do from a secret location among secret people who we will never identify until somebody comes in with the bone. We got the records, we got the documentation, we have taken names, and we're gonna make a secret record, not a secret record, but we will have an archival record of what they gave us because you have a right to know. If our local South Georgia news media will not report these type of stories, we want to get it done because I put my life on the line for over 20 years for people, foreigners, that I did not know. And I sure as hell ought to be willing to put my life on the line for the people that I do know, including my own children. Peace be unto you. Bye-bye. We gone. So I'm privileged to be following the road of Jesus the Messiah and those who work so hard to make America a better place to live, not only for black folk, but for every person that comes here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia. I am George Boston Rhymes. I do what I do because I know, and I'm 100% sure, that in the end, truth, justice, and right will win in the end. Once again, I'm looking for Eric Holder and the good people of America to help save this nation. I talk like I do because I want to save Valdosta. I want to save Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and the United States of America. Just remember, Bible tells us that heaven and earth would pass away, but my word would stand forever. This is the Ghetto Free Press, doing what we do simply because we are acting out of love and not hate. But there are others who are full of hate and they want revenge. I want peace. I want to see some love. I want harmony. And above all, I want to see God's word to be a real reflection of his son, Jesus Christ. I don't want to duplicate. I don't want to imitate. And I don't want to placate Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, or any other. I just want to do the will of my God. Peace be unto you.
Who killed KJ? Come on. Who killed KJ? Who killed KJ? Thank you.
Today makes 11 months my son was found at Lowndes High School, rolled up in a mat. I was at that school the day they found my son. They treated us like nobody from day one. They're still treating us like nobody. But we declare that we're here to stay. We ain't going nowhere. They want us to leave, and when we leave, it's going to be when they give us justice for my son.
Did you see, and all of them say, yes, we saw it. Did you see the judge that he was
So there were 4 outlets that were not playing up. ALB, WSB, and then some other tools. What do you think, who do you think has the power to break this system? And what do you think needs to be done? Like, who needs to be uniting together, you know?
Thank you very much. You are really nice and you are powerful. That is a powerful question. What could bring about that change is, as I said, if the football games were interrupted, if these people find a way to not play football until some change come to Valdosta. In fact, I believe that sports perhaps is the only way that real change is going to come here. I say that because right now we are known around the nation as Titletown, USA. But we are not only Titletown in football in terms of producing good football players. We are also Titletown when it comes to unsolved murders and killings, unsolved deaths in the jail. They say they have rats as big as cats in the jail. So perhaps we also have the title for having the biggest rats in any jail. So when they talk about Titletown, I think that football and those who benefit from the game, once the games are boycotted, I don't like the word boycotted, but it may have to be done. So a lot of this change gonna have to come through black folks taking on the initiative, along with white people who wanna see change and foster in change. So the bottom line, and bringing it home again, the power of breaking this system is in the hand of the people who can show the people in the state of Georgia that we are not back in the 1800s.
If they did this to me, and they did, they also can do this to you, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and coming generations. Unless somebody is willing to stand up for what is right.
Sir, I need your, you got a card? Okay, what's your name? Stephanie Thomas? Deputy Thomas. Okay, what my attorney asked
asked me is to request from you a copy of that warrant. My attorney, C.B. King. I just called my attorney. And I know you ain't got that.
You talking to the wrong person.
I understand, but I'm doing what he asked me to do.
But you do not, first of all, you do not have a warrant.
Okay, well,
with a warrant, you would have been arrested.
Right, okay. Okay,
it's criminal
trespass. Warning, a criminal trespass warning. Okay.
You come on this premises.
Right, I got you. Yeah, right.
But I cannot give you a copy of that. You talk to the sheriff about that or next person in charge.
Okay, so can you radio him now? Because it's very serious. I mean, I got
busy directing traffic.
Okay, well, I just want to
direct traffic. Somebody can get seriously hurt.
I appreciate.
If they did this to me, and they did, they also can do this to you, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, and coming generations.
Well, the thing is, I have interest against injustice. The Johnson family got to be the strongest family in this country. They will not stop and not charging for justice for their son that they know and all of them know was murdered. Now, what I witnessed in this courtroom today...
Yeah, that was my main question, yes, sir.
What I witnessed in this courtroom was, first of all, a judge inattentive. Now, I'm going to be honest. I think the judge was fair. I think he was admirable. But the judge was inattentive when he went to sleep not once, not twice, but 3 times and one time at the end.
Is that why you tried to get my attention? I didn't have a camera because of the situation, well, I'll explain later. But you tried to get my attention to let me know that he was sleeping?
Yes, I did. And I also notified all the other news teams that were him. Did you see, and all of them say, yes, we saw it. Did you see the judge that he was sleep on the bench? And say, yes, we did. Whether they're going to air that or not, but we know the ghetto free press going to air it.
My question to you is, do you think that was that done deliberately, so this afternoon it would not be a recording, a complete recording? We know we got a transcript, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Well, my thing is the judge limited. My opinion, I think the judge messed up when he limited, because he does have discretion in the law to allow recordings. But once he allowed one and don't allow the other, then he violates the freedom of the press. He violates the open meeting law. The judge, when I walked back in there, the first thing he noticed was no media in there, and he said, well, we ain't gonna have no media in there. That's the first thing come out of his mouth.
Are you serious?
He's asked, and so no media came back, and he said, I told them that I would let one other come in if nobody will show up, another one come in. Nobody's here. Y'all would agree with no media? And that's what he said. That's when I came outside looking for you.
Go ahead.
I sent the media blast out to everybody when I found out about this. All the news media, CNN, everybody, every local news station that I know, radio, Valdosta Daily Times, all of them, but Valdosta Daily Times was too. But how can you, this is what I understand about the media. How can you come in here and do the beginning of the trial and not get the end? So you're going to go report an incomplete story, and probably not going to be reported half of it anyway. And just like I told her, I asked every media, ABC from Atlanta, I asked Channel 10 was here, and I even told you, George, the Ghetto Free Press. I said, did you see the judge sleep? Did you get it on that camera? She said, yes, I did. Whether she going to report that or not, that is very important. Very important. You cannot make a decision as a judge and you up there asleep.
Let me ask you a question. Just in case somebody else in the state of Georgia would like to call you for you to give more information about what you saw in this courtroom.
To reach me, call me at 912-424-0752. Again, that's 912-424-0752. Or hit my email, justiceleagueunited@yahoo.com. One word, justiceleagueunited@yahoo.com.
Thank you very much. What's your name?
My name is Reverend Larry D. O'Hara.
What's your position or what title you carry?
I'm the, well, I carry many titles, but as far as the NAACP, I'm the assistant president of the Waycross branch.
Are you a minister of the gospel?
Yes, I am.
All right, what do you think about what happened today?
Even the judge sitting up there asleep from time to time.
You saw him sleep too?
Yes, and when he wake up, then somebody holler an objection, and he don't know what the objection is. So then he turns around and asks, after the guy called the objection, he'll speak, then he turn around and asks Mr. King, and Mr. King just blurted out. He just go ahead on and beat every avenue that they came across today, they got whooped.
Why do you think that there was no camera in the courtroom?
And the reason why they didn't want y'all in there with the camera, because every time they make a mistake, it's recorded on film, and they don't want to have to go back and use that. That is the same reason why, in the KJ case, why those films was tampered with, per se, because the evidence was already there. And they learned now that if it's on film, then they can use that film against them.
What's your name?
My name is Reverend Jeffrey Benoit. I'm the president of the Clayton Henry chapter of the National Action Network and a candidate for the 2016 State Representative, District 76, which covers the Connolly, Fairview, Stockbridge, Forest Park, Rex and Morrow, and Rex, Georgia.
Because you call it National Action Network. Who's the founder of that organization?
The founder is Reverend Al Sharpton, who founded the National Action Network in 1991, so this is our 25th year.
First, I want to ask Bobby, what did you say that you saw the judge doing in the courtroom today?
Sleeping.
What did you say you saw him doing?
Sleeping.
Did you see him?
Oh, he was not. He was not, and at least 3 times that counted.
I heard several other people, I want to be on camera, that you all saw that. Now, how?
The judge has proven that that he really don't want the cameras in the court. I mean, and I understand why, because the last trial he went to sleep 4 or 5 times, and this time he went to sleep 4 times, nodded on the bench, was sleeping. So I mean, no one is saying about it. Even when the media was there the last time, you was the only one who reported that the judge was asleep. He actually went to sleep, and nobody seems to see that's not a problem.
Well, being a problem or not, it seems to me, because if I had reported, I would let the people know what happened and took place in the courtroom. But it seemed that the local news media are not concerned about judges sleeping in the courtroom, or for that matter, even what's going on here today. Because, I mean, we had other things in the city that was going on, but this is a very high-profile local, state, and national case. And yet, when it comes down to our television station, regardless of whatever happened in Valdosta, they wasn't here.
Well,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, it's all support. To me, it's all supported by white supremacy. It's getting to the point that whites seem to think that everything runs around them, and it's getting worse with the police brutality. We're technically moving to a dictatorship.
Who killed KJ? Come on! Who killed KJ? Who killed KJ? Thank you.
Today makes 11 months my son was found at Lowndes High School, rolled up in a mess. I was at that school the day they found my son. They treated us like nobody from day one. They're still treating us like nobody. But we declare that we're here to stay. We ain't going nowhere. They want us to leave, and when we leave, it's gonna be when they give us justice for my son. Today makes 11 months my son was found at Lowndes High School, rolled up in a mat. I was at that school the day they found my son. They treated us like nobody from day one. They're still treating us like nobody. But we declare that we're here to stay. We ain't going nowhere. They want us to leave, and when we leave, it's gonna be when they give us justice for my son.